You ready? Welcome to One More. I'm your host, Brian Erickson. Each week, we bring in two new guests. We sit them down on this big, luscious-looking couch right here, and we find out why they do what they do. And this week is no exception. We have Natalie Farrell and our original host, Danny Coleman, joining us once again. But first, and as always, Chris Dubrow.
Hi, Brian.
Hey.
How you living?
Finally nailed that intro.
Yeah, that was rock solid.
I know,
which means the rest of the episode's gonna go to shit.
I can't wait. Cannot wait.
What else? What's going on? How was Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Good time,
Yeah,
fam, turkey, all that shenanigans.
Got to roll around on the floor with my niece and nephew.
How are the nieces and the nephews?
One of each, and they are doing just fine, thank you.
How
they were asking about you too.
Were they asking about me too, or you two?
They were asking about you two, the band.
Okay. What are your nieces and nephews' opinions on you two?
My nephew likes the one song that goes yeah, like that one.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Good job, Nash.
And he's 9. My niece, she's 4. She's really into that early period, like Boy October.
Yeah, we mean Rocktober. Because it's a rock and roll album.
Well, and what's the other one? War,
yes.
Yeah, that opening sort of 3 records.
The Sweet, that was the best of you two.
Yeah, she's really into that early stuff. And even those early singles, the post-punk.
Yeah, remember when U2 was like a post-punk band? And
you remember when my 4-year-old niece was really into UK post-punk?
Yeah, I mean, that's a natural progression. It's like the Terrible Twos, the Great Threes, and then the post-punk
fours. Yeah. Yeah,
really into
she's really into. That's actually a good.
That's not
the post-punk fours.
If anyone steals that from us, we'll be fairly upset.
So wait, add that to the list. So we have that one, and we have Beige Babies.
Oh yeah, Beige Babies is good. Also, we got to do the band. We're gonna do me, you, and Jack Linden called Privilege. I want to do that so bad.
Yeah.
Doors are locked from the outside, ladies and gentlemen. So as Rainy when I was driving, I was thinking, I want to get your opinion on this. What do you think is like the best Rain album? Like a good album to listen to in like a rainy
Love
night?
as Hell.
Love
by
as Hell?
Ryan Adams, yeah.
By Ryan Adams. So you went like sad.
Well, yeah, that's Rain.
That's not bad.
Sad. I mean, what do you want me to do? Like Save for a Rainy Day by Jan and Dean?
I mean, not on the nose, but okay, I see it.
What's a rainy day album for you?
I say Postal Service. That album's really good for a rainy day.
Okay, yeah, I
and
can
also
see that,
obviously
though.
Neutral Milk Hotel. But I think just being the person I am, Neutral Milk Hotel is good for any time.
Any occasion.
Yeah, any occasion. Like
so, I feel like Neutral Milk Hotel is for like an adult playing in a sandbox.
Yeah. No, that's Pet Sounds.
No. Those were actual adults playing in sandboxes and making the record that resulted from that. Neutral Milk Hotel is what you listen to
when you're an adult.
When you're just an adult who's playing in a sandbox. Like if you have no actual talent.
Do you not like Neutral Milk Hotel?
No, I love that album.
Oh, okay.
That album's incredible.
I see what you're saying.
But no, it's just, I don't know. It's a good, it's like Pet Sounds. It's like how much more good things can we say about
the
airplane over the sea.
In the aeroplane. I bought a Neutral Milk Hotel shirt, and I was talking to all my roommates about it for so long that when I finally got it and wore it, they were like, wow, what a great shirt. We're so proud of you. You're so indie. And I am, so I appreciate the compliments.
I just got a band T-shirt over the weekend, too.
What band?
Telethon.
I don't know Telethon.
That band from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee. Yeah, the Good Land. Algonquin for the Good Land.
You're right. I know.
But... yeah, they played at the hotel. Like back, I think it was the same night Rachel and Mercury Brothers did their release show.
Oh, okay.
They came through. They played the hotel. They're the ones with that.
That
big,
really
long
cool concept album you were telling me about.
And they put out these great like baseball tees. I had to get one.
There you go.
One of the nicest. No offense to you guys. No offense to Levy, but probably the nicest band tee that I've ever.
How many local band T-shirts do you think you have? Because mine's in I got 20 by now. Like I own T-shirts from every band in this area.
Yeah,
it's really insane. And I only wear my Levy in the Oak shirt.
Of course,
because it's the best shirt. I got you, baby. And speaking of the best shirt, we got the best interviews tonight. That one did not work at all, but we should get to our first guest because we have lost our steam. Thanks, Nash.
Wow, we're being booed by our own crew?
They've earned it. They've been dealing with this for like 2 seasons now. They're allowed to boo us while we're on camera.
Yeah, I guess so. And that doesn't even count for the year and a half they were here with Danny too.
Well, we're gonna roast him about that when he gets on.
Oh, big time.
When Danny gets on, we're just gonna do an airing of grievances where the crew just sits down and yells at us for all the shit they have to put up with.
That'd be
us
great.
In front of microphones.
So you want to bring her on? Let's bring her
on.
She's a performing songwriter whose latest record, Natalie, is available everywhere. Let's welcome Natalie Farrell. Hey, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making the trip out in this awful rain today.
Yeah, it's kind of cruddy, but it's all good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's all good when we all, when we finally settle in and get on the couch and have a chat.
Get on this giant broken couch.
Yeah.
It's broken. Yeah, it's not.
Let's start moving it.
Well, this is the second couch that we've procured from the burns. So.
So we just keep getting couches from my band,
and they keep getting.
Next season, we're gonna get another couch from the burns.
We'll ask.
Let's go to Joey's parents' house. They have nice stuff there.
They have great stuff there.
They have really nice.
We're not here to talk about Joey's parents' couches. As much as I am an expert on all those couches, of course.
As much as you've slept on those couches, I'm sure.
Have,
but okay. So, is it based on your album title? Is it safe to assume you're a Mortal Kombat fan? Is that?
I guess you could say that, but natality is really more of like reborn, kind of like that kind of vibe.
Okay,
but if you want to go that route, I'm okay with that too.
Well, I guess you have to die. You have to suffer fatality to be reborn.
Isn't this entirely what In the Aeroplane Over the Sea is about?
See, it always comes back to...
So things are falling apart off camera.
That's right, because we had such a good intro.
Yeah, see, I called it.
That Chris just nailed it.
Nash, you were roasting us, and now things are falling apart.
All right, we're okay.
Everyone's alive. We all got limbs still.
So natality is more about rebirth.
Yes.
What are you being reborn from?
Well, it's hard to say. I guess. I've been singing all my life, been a performer all my life, and I guess in a way, the performing aspect hasn't really opened its doors until recently. So I guess in my head, it was really more of like, all right, I'm reborn in my little head of mine, if that makes sense. So
no,
just
of course,
doing my own thing and enjoying it, but then seeing myself in a whole new perspective, like playing more shows and coming out with an EP and working with a lot of musicians that I never worked with before and stuff like that. So like in that aspect, it was like, wow, like I'm being reborn in that sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So you signed with Telegraph Hill Records, and they've been supporting you along this kind of renewed journey.
They're awesome.
And how did you get involved with them? We've had quite a few people from that label, artists and Fern and Palm, the two sort of head guys.
Exactly.
So it's we're just checking the boxes.
Yeah,
now.
no, definitely. I guess it kind of starts with Fern.
Okay, as most things tend to.
Yeah. As soon as I met Fern, I met everybody else in that kind of sense. Mm-hmm. And Palm was obviously one of the main people that I met right after Fern. And I know that Joe had this whole mindset for at least a year of what he wanted to do as far as forming a record label and getting all the local musicians around here involved and stuff. And we're all about it. We're all supporting it. And, that kind of came into something of its own. And just, knowing them for maybe about 2.5 years now, almost 3 years, it's that kind of bond you have with a group of people, which I'm sure you guys know because you're kind of part of it.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think over time it just came into some big, awesome, thing. And that's kind of where I came along, from knowing Fern and then knowing Palm and just knowing everybody else as a group.
And how has being part of that sort of, because Telegraph, if you look at, say, Asbury on the whole, it is its own community of artists and musicians, and many of them kind of similar mind, but how has being part of the sort of Telegraph like micro community helped you grow?
Well, that's the thing I like about Telegraph Hill Records. As much as we're all from the same local music scene, everybody has their own difference in that aspect. And that's the beauty of it. We all have a chance to kind of stand out as our own kind of musicians and what we want to put out there, you know, between our music and our performances and stuff like that. And I think that's what makes us stand out the most, the fact that we're just so diverse and so different, that we all get to kind of put that out there. I hope I'm answering that correctly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's no like you know, there's no multiple choice here.
Gotcha.
Like, this is your answers are yours, of course.
But yeah, I think at least in my mindset, that's definitely a big role as far as Telegraph Hill Records go. Everybody's so diverse, and I really like that. I think it's awesome.
Now, what were you doing musically before then? Like you said, you know, you were still singing, but you weren't quite playing shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So what was going on before you made that contact? Because that's also, you know, that's obviously how you and I met. And, you know, before that, like, you know, you weren't on my radar, but you were obviously still out there doing things.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? What were you trying to do?
For a while, I was doing this like duo cover thing, you know, with a coworker of mine I used to work with, and we used to play a lot in Trenton. And
oh, really?
Yeah, we our big place was this place called The Social.
Oh yeah, I know the Trenton Social. You know Benny?
Yes, Benny and TC Nelson.
Yeah,
they were great people. They still are great people. But I really enjoyed that for a while. The crowd there too was just very like, oh my God, this is awesome. So that was really cool. But after a while, I wanted to start doing my own originals, and I was like, where am I going with this? How much farther can I go with this? And when is it going to come to an end? And ironically, I'm sure you guys know Chad Morales.
Yeah.
He called me one day at work.
Chris just, you know.
He's like, oh,
Chad's got my heart. I love that boy. We need to bring him on just so we can spend time with him.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's awesome. He's
well,
adorable.
you know what we'll do? We'll just have him sit silently in the center of the couch, not
With
say
his
a word.
poncho.
Not say a word. Yeah, just.
He'll do it, but he'll have no idea what's going on. But he'll
Great,
be game. That's
perfect.
why I like him. So I'm sorry, Chad was.
Yeah, he gave me a call one day. And I unfortunately missed his call. I was at work, so I texted him, and he was like, hey, like, I haven't seen you in a while. The last time we saw each other, we went to Brookdale together. We took a lot of music classes.
Okay.
And he's like, there's this place where we do open mics in the Highlands. Like, you should come out. I was like, huh, what's it called? And like the Chubby Pickle.
Do they have alcohol there?
Good God, dude. That.
I know they definitely got a hell of a lot of picklebacks. So.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But yeah, so I went that night, and that was the first time I was like, all right, I'm gonna put the guitar on my back and go by myself, because I always went with my other partner at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna try something new. And I went, and I met Fern and everybody else that night, and Fern and I actually improv'd. Like, we just went on stage, we started playing and stuff. And
oh, well, he's great for that stuff.
He's
like he just picks it up too.
Yes,
it's crazy.
but that's what I loved about it, because that's how I used to songwrite. I would just improv and kind of put like a voice recorder on my phone, like to the side, and go back and listen to it, and just kind of like rewrite little things here and there.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And
it's like everybody kind of has their own certain process.
Yeah. And ironically, that night we played the single Exhale without even knowing it was going to be a single. Like, that turned into what it was. Yeah.
And he like improv'd with you on this song. Yeah. Wow, how cool is that?
It
and
was
that was
awesome.
what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
And that's great. And that song, and that was a single this past summer.
Thank you. yeah, that was the single this past summer. It's on the EP as well.
Oh yeah, of course. Now I wanna kind of take it back to the beginning. Because, you know, I guess, you know, with this EP and everything, like, there really, I mean, I've seen, you know, a couple reviews and stuff, but there really isn't a whole lot out there on you to kind of like, well, no, just to kind of research, like, as an artist. Yeah. So, you know, I try to kind of square all that up beforehand and, you know, ask questions about early experience. But tell me, you know, was there music in the house? Like, what kind of got you? You know, tell me about, like, you know, 8-year-old Natalie. What was going on in the house when you were a kid?
To be honest, I was actually a dancer before I was a singer.
Okay, but that still makes sense.
Yeah, and it kind of stems from that.
Okay.
Definitely. But just the culture in my house too. I mean, my mom is Puerto Rican. She's straight from Ponce, Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And there was a lot of Spanish music in the house, a lot of dancing. Anytime we had get-togethers and other family members came over, like it was just always this big kind of fiesta.
Oh, that's great.
So that was a lot of fun. My dad, he's always been into like classic rock. My mom's always been into Motown. Every Friday night, like they would stay home and they would be like, let's dance, let's party, let's this. And it would just be like my parents, me and my sister, nobody else, nothing crazy.
That sounds like parents.
Exactly.
Like, let's not go out on a Friday night. Let's just stay home and dance.
Stay home, dance.
Like, what
I
do
mean,
we do?
obviously a
What
little
did
bit of
you
wine,
guys-
but not
like-
us.
Well, I mean,
But,
you
you
never
know,
know.
But it was good. I think that's what stemmed from it. It was a lot of Friday nights with the fam, you know.
How did those early experiences shape your songwriting later on?
Well, I guess for a while, because I started singing when I was 7. And I would just always sing in my room. There'd be like Mariah Carey, Christina Aguilera, like all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And when I turned 13, I was like, I need to do something else. Like, it was just one of those things. So I picked up the guitar. My sister had a guitar, and she never played it. So I took her guitar, and I started playing it, and I started teaching myself. And I had a couple of friends at the time who were a little bit older who taught me how to play. And yeah, from there, I just kind of started taking chords and stuff and mixing it into my own, and I started songwriting from there. And then obviously years later, I took vocal lessons, joined choir, that whole spiel. And I don't know, that all kind of formed into the whole songwriting aspect.
And when did you, when did you start to realize that you were capable of writing songs? When did that all kind of occur to you? Because it seems like, okay, you know, dancing gave way to singing in your room, gave way to, you know, taking your sister's guitar, gave way to choir and vocal lessons. So what did songwriting come next? Because it seems like that'd be the natural progression from there.
It actually came as soon as I picked up the guitar.
Okay.
That did a lot of movement for me, I guess. I don't know, I guess like just playing and stuff and realizing, oh my God, there's more than just like the vocals and all this stuff. I realized that there was more I could step out of my comfort zone and try to do and experiment with. And that got me to songwriting, which then led me to joining choir and picking up voice lessons and stuff like that.
Now, do you have one specific like artist or album that you heard that kind of like knocked you out as a writer, where, you know, maybe you were kind of writing songs and then you heard something, you said, oh wow, like I need to really, like, if this exists, like I need to, you know, kind of get on the level?
Definitely. Well, when I was 13, I first figured out what the band Paramore was.
Okay.
And I was a huge fan of
that
their...
That checks out.
It definitely does. I was a big fan of their album All We Know Is Falling, which was their first album.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is amazing. I love this. This is great. And then as I got older, my mom always told me, like, you need to find your own voice. Don't sound like these people.
Yeah.
Be who you are. And that's when I started realizing I had like a bluesy kind of vibe when I just sang on my own and sang
Maybe
my own
that came
music.
from some of that classic rock that
I think
was
so.
playing in the house that you guys would dance to on Friday nights, right?
Yes, there was a whole lot of Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, all that good stuff. But I think Motown also played a huge role because I listened to the Supremes, the Marvelettes. The list could definitely go on.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I think that combination, because then later on, I started listening to Amy Winehouse. And I guess in a way, Paramore and Amy Winehouse were my new modern day classic rock Motown.
Yeah.
So that kind of put me in like, okay, what can I make out of this? What can I make my own kind of music and create this into something that, you know, no one's really done before? I'm still working on that, but that's really what stemmed out of it. It just reminded me a lot of the childhood memories of the classic rock and the Motown, and those two bands in particular, or musicians, really hit home with me and really reminded. It was the nostalgia. I was like, oh, this makes sense. And yeah, that's really what kind of
That's excellent, and that's clearly kind of made its way into your own work now as a performer, as a songwriter, and everything. You can hear it in there, not as like a derivative, but clearly as it's made its way as an influence, and your music's great. Like it's like exciting to listen to, and it's so well done. It's so well produced.
Thank you.
So as we kind of wrap up, I have a couple more questions I want to ask you. How has the music scene influenced the moves you've made to help further this music along?
Oh my God, this scene, this whole music scene, they're just so driven and so like, we're getting this done, then this is coming, then that, then this, then that.
Yeah, it like never stops.
It never stops. It's just the momentum just keeps going, and I could be a little lazy sometimes. And I think by watching these people make moves, it was like, all right, I got to get my ass up and start making moves. Like there's no other way around it. How else am I gonna achieve the goals I want to achieve? Yeah. And just by watching these people, they were very inspiring, and it taught me a lot about how to build my own momentum and just not stop after that. So they play a role in that aspect, definitely, like 150%. So
excellent. And my last question for you is we're maybe not necessarily here, but we're back doing an interview 5 years from now. What are we talking about?
Oh man.
Where's Natalie Farrell's music? How many records are out? What,
I hope platinum and on the billboards and just at the Grammys. I mean, I could dream.
No, and as you should.
Yeah, definitely. I hope in the next 5 years that's literally where I'd like to be, traveling, performing. My biggest thing is putting the money and the fame and everything aside. I just want to be able to write music that could really hit home with people. Like they will go home and put their own story to it and be like, wow, like she has really influenced me to the point where like this is legendary kind of stuff. And I always saw that in the musicians I looked up to. I always saw them as legendary, and they really emotionally played a role, and it made me think about how much farther I want to go as a person and accomplishments and all that stuff. So that would ultimately be my goal. Hopefully in the next 5 years, I'm doing something like that. So
you're certainly off to a great start.
Thank you.
Natalie Farrell, we're going to hear a couple songs from you in a little bit. Thank you so much for sitting and talking with us.
Thank you, Chris.
Gotta get that. OneMore, sponsored by You Don't Know Jersey. Founded in 2010 by Allison M. Maziak. I got that right. You Don't Know Jersey has been covering all the best music, food, sports, art, and cultural events that the Garden State has to offer for nearly a decade. Hey, Bird, have you ever wondered if there was a good place around, Red Bank area where you could order a pizza by the slice?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. Hey, Danny Coleman, weren't you just looking for an honest used car dealership that would sell you a sweet-ass Daewoo at an unbeatable price? That's a yes, ladies and gentlemen. So whether you're in High Point, Cape May, or anywhere in between, check out YouDon'tKnowJersey.com for all the latest. You don't know Jersey, but they certainly do. Brian.
Well, before we bring out Danny, we just got crashed. The couch just got crashed by Adam Bird.
Hi.
Former guest who's playing. Dude, you should be at your show like now.
I should be sound checking right now. Actually.
So
you gotta make sure all the synths are raging.
I know. I gotta tune my synth.
All right. So you wanna give this boy a quick roast before we?
Dude, you want? I was.
No, you.
My plan was to just bring on and be like, so who are you angry at today?
I was thinking about that on the way down, not to tell you guys, but just because I was naturally angry at somebody every day.
You were anger texting me about traffic.
Yeah, I was. I was also angry at hip hop in general on the way down.
Oh,
yeah.
This is not the year to take that out.
I know. So I'm gonna keep it in here. But that's the answer to your question.
So.
And you've got a new album out.
I do.
What's
it just came out. It's called Hard Times in Two Dimensions. And Spotify has it up as Hard Times Between Two Dimensions. And,
I like that one better. I like that.
Too
one
bad.
Better.
Not the title. I got the fat cats over at Mint 400 are knocking skulls to get that fixed. So
as you should.
Yeah, it's throwing around that big
Neil.
money.
Yeah. That sweet Pensy prep money.
That's right. That's right. So
I want you and Connor Mira to have like a crouch off one time. Sit them both down and just be like, who can be the most?
Hey, wait. What are you doing on February 16th? Come play John and Peters because Roy Orbitron is playing too.
Oh my God! Please
do it. Please do it.
And we can have a grouch off on stage.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
All right,
Groucho
let's do
off.
it.
Great. All right, good. You're booked.
Fantastic.
Great.
Okay.
We got her booked.
Cool.
All right, that's it.
He's got a new album. He's playing the Wonder Bar like right now.
Yeah. So see you there.
All right.
A Bird, everybody. Don't be late, please.
He's got a great scarf on.
Yeah. All right. That was so. Danny's like rubbing his eyes. He's like,
Yeah, it got a little dumber once you left. Let me tell you, Danny.
all right. Well, let's bring him out. He's the decade-long host of the popular Rock On Radio program, and he occupied this very chair before I did. Let's welcome back our original host, Danny Coleman.
Good to see you, boss.
How are you? Should we switch? You want to switch?
No,
All right.
I kind of like this spot.
Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable.
I think so.
Than this chair.
think
So Bob Macon introduced us about a
He
year
did.
and a half ago.
He did.
Bob Macon.
And
Making waves.
yeah,
God,
and,
is he.
and he continues to do just that.
Yes, he does.
So and it's been kind of fun to sort of follow you, since making that introduction. I was a guest on your show. Goodness, like the summer before last or
Yeah,
something like that.
and I own yours.
Yeah, exactly. So we've, I'm glad we're,
Cross-pollinated.
finally closing the loop here, which is great. It's really great to have you back here.
No, thank you so much. for
And
inviting me
the
back.
scenery's changed a bit since you left.
A little bit.
Well, we
Except
got
Nash is still Nash.
yeah.
and
Nash is still wearing plaid.
He's
That's
still-
right. Matt's still got his hat.
He's the man.
Yeah, of course he is.
Oh yeah, this ship does not run without Nash.
I'm thinking, oh,
He is the glue that holds the show together.
correct.
So you went to broadcast school back in the 80s. You graduated from broadcast school.
I did.
And your path took a few interesting turns before you kind of got back into broadcasting. You worked for the Dow Jones, you worked for UPS, and it didn't seem like you really kind of hit it as a broadcaster till you started Rock On Radio in 2009. Tell us about that time in between. Like, was it just not a priority? Were you, kind of trying things, it wasn't working? Like what? Because I had a similar experience. I graduated with a broadcast degree. And it took me like a decade to finally figure out, what to do with it.
Well, it's simplistic, and if what I'm about to say, where am I, Matt? Which camera here? Oh, this one. All right. if what I'm about to say can save somebody from the fate I suffered, pay attention. When I was 18, I graduated high school. I wanted to be a musician.
Okay, yeah, and you're a drummer.
I'm already a musician, and I wanted to be a professional musician. And I had two parents who cared about me very much. And they said, that's great, but you need something to fall back on. So you really need a job right now, or you need to go to school.
I feel like I'm talking to my mother.
Exactly. So what
you,
I
Joyce.
did was I accommodated the wish of my parents,
Okay.
and I went to work for Dow Jones and Company. And then what happened was I realized I really don't like being in an office environment.
Yeah.
So I went to broadcasting school a year after I graduated high school.
Okay.
And I got out and I started looking at I applied for a few radio jobs. And at the interview, they told you, well, you got to start late shift, like midnight to 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
The pay is this. And, there's no benefits.
Of course not.
So I was like, okay. All right, well, let's see. I have a car payment. I have this. I have that.
Yeah.
I can't afford to be a broadcaster. So I kind of just started concentrating on the music angle.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1988, I got married.
Congratulations.
Thank
Belated.
you. Belated. Thank you very much.
30 years later. Great job.
In 2004, I got divorced.
Congratulations
There you
again.
go.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. Thank you. But
We really nailed that one.
That was a collective bit. Great job, everyone in this room. You guys are learning.
thank you all for sharing in the times of my life.
Hey, that's all right.
Better than Kodak.
This interview's about you, so that's perfect.
Danny Coleman, this is your life. We actually have your
She's not
ex-wife.
coming
We're
out.
bringing her back out.
Now she is. I no longer look at her as my ex-wife. She's the mother of my children,
Okay, that's fine.
who are 26 and 23. So, do the math. I'm 30.
Yes.
No, so once I got married, I realized that I couldn't support a future family on what I was making at Dow Jones.
Oh wow.
So I became a UPS driver.
Okay, I was waiting for so I became a drummer full time.
No, and I wanted to do
the
that.
lucrative world of music.
But I was still gigging. And then I had children, and it was, well, do you really want to spend every weekend in a bar while I'm home with the kids? Because I don't.
Yeah.
So it became, all right, I will accommodate you, and I stopped playing for about 10 years. And then I went back to it.
What did that experience sort of teach you when you got back into music and when you started Rock on Radio in 2009? Like, you had all these, seeming kind of ups and downs, and when things like that happen to, we take that with us and we use that. How did you use that?
Well, what I realized, and this is where, if I could save somebody's life, Chris, this is...
I got a BFA in acting from the State University. I'm beyond saving. Don't worry about me.
Save
from
yourself.
where?
From a State University.
Oh, okay. All right, good. What I did was, if you notice a common theme, when I was 18, I accommodated my parents. When I was 27, I accommodated my now ex-wife. When I was, I just got tired of accommodating people. And what I learned from that was I made everybody else happy except me.
Yeah.
And I was always all about, and I'm still all about, it's not all about me, but it's all about accommodation and cooperation and trying to work together for whatever the goal is or will be. But after my divorce, here I am working as a UPS guy, and I woke up one morning and couldn't move. Managed to get out to my driveway and collapsed with 4 herniated discs. I had blood in my spine. To this day, I still can't feel my feet, and that was January of 2009. So for almost 10 years. So I had to reinvent myself. So I returned to broadcasting.
Wow.
And that's how it all, and then from that I got the gig writing for the Trentonian. Now I write for New Jersey Stage and multiple other mags.
Oh, yeah.
And, it all kind of, it's all connected.
And how did that, so I take it that when you started Rock on Radio like that, especially after this incident now, was that, in its own way, a vehicle to help keep you close to music, even if you couldn't play it, or at least not play at the level you were used to?
Well, I never left music, even during those 10 years where I kind of put it down. Mm-hmm. My drum kit sat in my basement in a corner. Mm-hmm. And I would from time to time go down.
But how do you play drums if you can't feel?
Well, now, it's not easy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but I've always kind of had a heavier right. I got a soft hands, but a heavy right foot.
Okay.
So
it's all that driving.
Pretty much. That's right. So it's definitely not as easy to practice because it would hurt the back.
Yeah.
So have my skills eroded? Yes. But I still enjoy playing. That's how I took up percussion. That's why I also do Latin percussion, congas and bongos and things like that. So
keep it a little easier.
I can't. When you're a musician, it's in you.
Yeah.
It's like it may lay dormant for a long time. I had people come into Rock on Radio Brian, that tell me they stopped playing for 25 years.
Yeah.
Picked it up again when they were like 65.
Yeah.
I hope to live to
what was
65.
What was that? Pete Townsend said he put the guitar down for like 7 or 8 years. He said the best thing that could have happened to his playing was just
you come back with a new perspective.
Yeah.
So
I want to talk about I want to get a little deeper into now. At this point, you're hosting Rock on Radio. You start writing columns for the Trentonian. Are you covering just music for them, or are you working in other areas?
Well, I did their music. It was just music. It was from June of 2010 until April 30th of 2014. Mm-hmm. I did the live and local music column. It was called. Then they pulled the plug on all freelance contributors, which I should have kind of known because the last 2 checks I cashed bounced. So I was like, okay then. I eventually got paid, but so it
took took a little bit of doing.
But thanks to Gary Ween over at New Jersey Stage, they took me off their online version in September of 2013, and Gary immediately picked it up. Mm-hmm. He's been incredibly good to me. He's a great editor. Can't ask for a better.
So what is it about writing that motivates you?
I like talking to people.
Yeah. Would you say your level of curiosity is when you engage with others? Even, written interview, you got them sitting in the guest chair on Rock on Radio or What's Next, your talk show?
Well, as you know, I don't script or this doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in my world.
Well, this isn't for you. This is for me.
I understand
this is just to keep me from driving this thing off the side of the road.
Why not? Let's go. Let's go off the side of the road.
Well, because I don't improv. Chris is the one with.
See now,
yeah. If you want to go off the side of the road, I'll start running.
You start driving.
Yeah. Okay. Though, Danny, religion and politics.
Let's talk.
Let's talk about both. Well, I know you got a rule on Rock On. That was when I was on. He said,
no religion, no politics,
which is great because we were recording it at a church.
I've always seems to find my way to a church or a cemetery.
Ain't that just the way, man?
Yeah, but
that's a sign. I don't know of what.
Well, because
I don't talk religion.
There you go.
It's got Nash entirely sick of me. It happened.
See, I don't script it or rehearse it because. Well, you've been on the program.
Yeah,
I want to know about you.
I've been on the program. I've been on. I've listened to others. Tara Dente episode was great.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah,
Tara. I love Tara.
Yeah.
But I don't script it or rehearse it because I find that if you give people the ability to talk about themselves, they will gladly take it. And
I find that's not. I don't know. I don't want to be like I disagree with someone who's got a decade plus experience on it. I don't know. I always find that sometimes I guess that was actually one of my. See, you anticipate. That was one of my own questions. Was what do you do when you can't? When you're trying to kind of get stuff out of people and you can't.
I've had probably over the 10 years, I've probably only had 3 interviews like that.
Yeah, because
that's
dry, probably why I keep the questions more than anything is at least I've got something I can move to and at least keep things going. But how do you do that?
Well, first of all, I don't even research. I do very little to no research about my guests.
That's your brand.
Because I don't want to know in advance. I want you to tell me what you want to tell me. Obviously, you're coming on my program because you have something to push. You have something that you want to get out there, whether it's your music or your book or your whatever it is. You want to come on my show and you want to talk about it.
Chris is going to come on and talk about his book.
Okay. You got a book?
Yeah. They said write what you know, so I wrote a book called Absolutely Nothing.
Perfect.
That's the laziest joke I've ever written, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's even better. We could talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
We got 2 hours to kill.
I mean, yeah, the doors are locked from the outside, so we are stuck here, ladies and gentlemen.
So, no, but I want people to engage me. I designed the program as if I just met you at a christening or a wedding or somebody's party or a backyard barbecue, and you hear somebody
and
talking,
and
saying,
you got stuck at the table with him.
well, not that bad. No, but like I once, like, hey, did you go see the Paper Jets the other night at John and Peter's?
Never heard of those guys. I don't know
No,
who they are.
really? Because I thought I heard you say Brian. I know Brian.
I don't know. who
How'd
he
you
is.
meet Brian? And the next thing you know, you're talking about this, that, and the other thing, and the conversation just rolls.
I've never met this Brian guy.
No?
I don't know who he
Yeah,
is.
that's all right. I like him.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's
Not
okay.
bad. Well, you guys,
A little too tall for my taste.
So, one more artist, one more talent, one more musician, all things related. That was the tagline when this show started.
Right.
It premiered in October of 2016. I will not claim to have seen every single episode, but I did. I was on, actually. Ironically, I was on a week that you had off, but
I had a funeral to go to, yes, that evening, yes.
did not
I was not sick, as reported earlier, but
Okay, well, I think maybe that was more like a respect thing than anything, not like, oh, yeah, this is exactly where he is. It was just like, yeah, he's not feeling well. So, but I won't claim to have seen every single episode, but, I was a fan. I was, I caught it when I was able to, and
thank you.
And I did kind of enjoy the off the cuff style. Even call it like a little bit of envy, but because like I said, I just can't do that. How did this show? For our people that are watching, like how did this program get started?
Matt called me.
Yeah.
And he said, I want to bring Rock on Radio and your brand to my production company. So we had a series of production meetings, and then we went for it. The hardest part, and I believe he'll agree with me on this, the hardest part was picking the name. We had a dictionary. We're just flipping pages, closing our eyes. This one.
There was a bottle of Jack Daniels and a dictionary.
Yes.
And we would literally open up to a random page, take a sip, and throw our finger down on the page, and whichever word we landed on, we try to brainstorm ideas off of that. And that went on for probably about like an hour and a half until we landed on the word one.
Wow.
You just landed on the word one, and that's how
I was
the
gonna
show...
say, I'm glad you didn't land on the word
Actually-
like pliable.
Actually, that's it. We ran out of Jack Daniels. Go get one more. But
So
no.
this show started with Jack Daniels, and ladies and gentlemen, is ending with
It's
Jack
fueled by
Daniels.
Jack
Yeah, it's
Daniels.
fueled by Jack Daniels.
Yes, and continues to run.
Correct.
We'll never
So-
stop being run.
So how do you feel after putting in some time with a guest or an interviewee? You have that that hey, I met him at a wedding, or got stuck at the table with them, and you're having a conversation, you're learning something on their terms. When you get home at night, what about Danny Coleman has changed?
That's a good question, actually.
What do you learn from these people?
I learn a lot from all of the people who've been on my program.
Yeah.
I've been incredibly fortunate where over the years I've only had a couple of real clunkers, so to speak. Where
The Burns, of course, being a shining example of a clunker.
them guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
And myself also. I apologize.
No, you take something away from everybody. How it's changed me, other than the fact that I now have like 5,000 Facebook friends,
It's always nice to have a Rolodex, right?
That's it. Yeah, I was on a show. Let's friend them.
Yeah.
They never talk to me. They just like to friend me. But no, how it's changed me is that I've actually made some incredible. As I said earlier, it's all connected.
Yeah.
And I've made some incredibly good friends through the radio program. I've picked up gigs. There was a period of my life after I hurt my back and I was unemployed for 3 years where, it was pretty rough. And some of those friends calling me for gigs helped me through.
I'm sure.
Something as simple as paying the bills.
Yeah.
So, it's I've met a lot of great people, and I've made a lot of good friends. And at the end of the day, you can go home and you look at yourself and you say, you know what?
You're doing something positive.
I helped them. Because when I was 16, I heard myself on the radio for the first time at a church carnival. We were on WPST in one of their first unsigned heroes contests.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I got chills from head to toe, and that's basically the premise behind the show. I wanted to give somebody else that chance. Right, because don't forget, I started on AM radio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody listened to me on AM radio. They're listening to me on their laptops. So now I'm strictly internet, but yeah.
What would you say the most interesting thing is that you've learned from a guest or that a guest has kind of shared with you?
Gosh, there's been so many. I mean, 10 years.
Just something that's like compelled you.
Compelled me?
Yeah.
To do what?
Well, I don't know. Just, I mean,
I had to think about that.
You know, just kind of open end. You know, something that's moved. I should maybe say something that's like moved you.
Oh, this is a true story.
Okay.
And there is a guy that originally he's from the Absecon area. I had been doing the program for about 3 months, and he reached out to me via email. And he sends me this email. I thought it was a scam. He sends me an email.
He's not like a Nigerian prince.
No, he's not a Nigerian prince, and all the words were spelled right. You know, so it was that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it was, you know, I've come from a very poor background, and all I want to do is get my music heard. I want you, and he just went on and it was like a 5-paragraph email telling me about this destitute childhood and how he first started playing guitar. He found it in a closet. His mom and they were on welfare, and his mom worked 3 jobs, and him and his brother were, you know, alone a lot. And I thought, this is just too.
It's almost like too
weird to not be true, you know. Why is he reaching out to me? I mean, I've been doing this show for 3 months, so I took a chance, and he's one of the finest singer-songwriters I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
ever. Goes by the Williams Boy.
Okay.
Matthew William Williams, Billy Williams.
Okay.
And him and I bonded instantly. And if you ever get a chance to see him, check him out, the Williams Boy. But that, allowing him on my show at that point in his life meant the world to him. And that never left me, you know. So, yeah, that would be something that's touched me over the years.
What's as we start wrapping this up here? What's one thing you wish you could do better?
Be more consistent, actually. Not consistent in the way I run the show, but more consistent. You know, at times I kind of get, you know, like, oh, look, there's an ash. You know, oh, squirrel.
There he is.
And not that I have ADD or CBD or whatever the heck is popular these days. Do we have that? No. You know, ABC, I don't know. But sometimes it gets very difficult to not just want to talk about my experiences and how it's relating to what they're saying. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could consistently pull back a little bit. Because sometimes I ramble. I'm Irish. I ramble.
Yeah, I can't. I can't fault you for that.
I have Irish descent. I'm an American, but I have Irish descent.
So before we get out of here, you've got an event coming up in December.
I do.
I want to make sure we share that with the viewers before we get out of here. You want to say it right into the camera?
December 12th, the last happy hour that I host, monthly happy hours on the second Wednesday of every month at the Tiernan in Trenton, New Jersey.
That's a great place. They pour a good Guinness
right.
at that place.
Love the Tiernan 7 to 9, and then the monks, Jerry, the father, and John, the son, they alternate months and host an open mic immediately following. So any musicians want to come on out and play at the open mic, you're more than welcome. And the happy hour's there. All you got to do is show up. I give you a ticket, and I give stuff away. Rock on Radio merch, whatever else I can find.
Like these great pens.
That's these great pens. I actually have something else for you, but I forgot it. It's on the kitchen table right now. So I'll have to give that to you at a later date.
It's that Rock on Radio bear trap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I give them out to everybody except Natalie, because she's gonna come on my show.
You get a bear trap. You get a bear.
Well, I found that bear trap.
Danny Coleman,
No.
Oh, wait, were we done promoting the event yet?
Has it been
So
promoted?
December 12th, Tiernan
7 to 9. 1324 Hamilton Avenue in Trenton.
Danny Coleman,
Right. Thanks, buddy.
come back anytime.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming on, Danny.
Thanks, buddy.
I gotta run over there.
Thank you, guys. Woo-hoo.
You got the chair. We can do this. It's getting more seamless with every week. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this week's episode of One More is brought to you by the Asbury Park Music Foundation. The APMF, or hey Natalie, the APMF, or AMP, if you're feeling frisky, raises money to support youth music programs throughout Asbury Park that provide lasting skills, self-confidence, and life-changing experiences for underserved kids in our community. This includes funding for the Hip Hop Institute at the Boys and Girls Club of Monmouth, in-school music programs at Hope Academy, and scholarship for kids to attend the Lake House Music Academy right over there. If you go, you might get lucky and get Matt Nicole as your teacher. APMF AMP also sponsors events such as Suburbia Friday Nights, which brings a mix of hip-hop and rock on the first Friday of every month. Sunday Sessions, which feature prominent acoustic performers. Girlzilla December 1st, which showcases some of New Jersey's most talented female and non-gender binary performers. And a very Asbury holiday show December 9th. If you're interested in keeping Asbury Park's legacy of music alive by making a meaningful difference for the underserved youth in our community, head to asburyparkmusiclives.org to make a donation, and while you're there, pick up a Music Saved Asbury Park t-shirt. All proceeds make it possible to support Music Saved My Life youth program. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Natalie Vibes herself, Natalie Farrell.
Thanks, Chris. All right, this one is off of the EP. It is called Full, and I hope y'all enjoy. All of your emotions in my head. He's let me be free for once. Yeah, I know I don't need you to go in my life. Not today, not tomorrow. When you let your mind be full of indecision, try thinking with the heart that made you grow. Don't let it push, just let it pull you into your own. You let your mind be full. Quit taking up all my time. You gotta go. Now you're gone and I feel no pain. Body's letting me be free for once. Yeah, I know all the roads are the purpose in my life. Today is what it is and tomorrow was. When you let your mind be full of indecision, try thinking with the heart that made you grow. Don't let it push, just let it pull you into your own. You let your mind be bound. Quit taking up all my time. You gotta go. Fern.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt Coleman is about to get on. Most recently seen on Cliffcast, America's third best podcast about Cliff Bars. We got a whole lot of events this week, so let's try to get through them. Monday, November 26th, Happy Mondays presents Morningside Lane, Surreal Measures, and that beautiful mess, A Bird at the Wonder Bar right now. Drive over, look at your phone. Tuesday, November 27th, Kev Daly, Little Uncle Kevin, Ryan Clark, and Pamela Flores at the downtown Red Bank at 8 p.m. Wednesday, November 28th, the premiere of Brighton Bar's documentary film about the Brighton Bar entitled The Brighton Bar will be showing at the Brighton Bar at 7 p.m. Oh boy. Open mic night featuring the poetry of Mayhem, the spoken absurd at the Inkwell at 8 p.m. Sir Sherry, Dave Appy, and Kenny Whitworth at the downtown Red Bank. And Red Pants presents Deirdre Forrest, Jesse McCormick, and Corey and Kara at the Asbury Hotel at 8 p.m. Thursday, November 29th, happy birthday to Brian's sister, Wendy. I feel so bad for you for having to grow up around this human-sized goof steak. Spirit of the Beehive, Horse Jumper of Love, Fire is Motion at the AP Brewery at 7 p.m. Fire is Motion, ladies and gentlemen. The National Reserve, the Mike Modery Band at the Saint at 7 p.m. Taylor Toad is at Drome at NYC at 7 p.m. Doug Zambone, Bobby Mahoney, Chris Brown, Arlen Files, and Meg Berry are getting folked up at the downtown Red Bank at 7:30 p.m. The Wag is at Harley's Harp and Pub at 8 p.m. Keith Monaco, Kate Mills, and Michael Patrick will be spilling the tea at Clancy's Tavern at 8 p.m. Spilling the tea.
That's the name of the program.
Is that really it?
You get so much further.
I know, it's gonna get bigger and bigger. My head's gonna explode like that dude in Scanners. The Do-Rights and Funk Shui at Barca City at 8:30 p.m. Downtown Brown, Dr. Beardface, my nickname in middle school, not because I had a beard, and Experiment 34 at Mill Hill Basement at 9 p.m. Friday, November 30th, open mic night in Metuchen, hosted by our good friend Melissa Peterson at the Old Franklin Schoolhouse at 6 p.m. Springwood CD release show with Sean Mars at the Brighton Bar at 6:30 p.m. Sick, Disease, and Acid Cactus at Ciafano's Bar at 7 p.m. Stove, Maneka, Spouter, Glazer in the West, New Brunswick, 8 p.m. I promise you're going to perform again. Just deal with it for another second. 90.3, The Core presents Cornucopia, good God, featuring Wind Up Kid, Karatova, Handsome Crew, Danny Mann, George Tree, Co-op in New Brunswick at 8 p.m. Mid 400 presents Free Indie Folk Night at Stosh's featuring Reese Van Ripper, Son of the Velvet Rat, Rosie Bengal, Fairmont, Jared Love of the Lampshades at Stosh's and Fairlawn at 8 p.m. Your Kids EP release party. They were our guests a few weeks ago and their songs are gothy and weird and amazing, and definitely make some time to go see them at John and Peter's in New Hope at 8:30 p.m. Woo! Dan Amano and the Sentimental Gentleman, Above the Moon, Jeff Doubleday, the Asbury Hotel, Goddamn Levy and the Oaks, and the Mercury Brothers are at the Asbury Park Yacht Club at 9 p.m., and the Successful Failures Acoustic at Tir Nanog at 9 p.m. Oh boy. Saturday, December 1st, Asbury Park Holiday Bazaar Convention Hall, 11 a.m. Asbury Fest Hall's annual... There's some kind of thing happening at the beer garden at 12 noon. Go drink at the beer garden. You don't need an event. Girl fucking Zilla featuring Renee Maskin, Ellen Rasnick, Pam Flores, Avery and the Man Devils, Fox and motherfucking Kate dressed up in Prim is right here at the Asbury Park Music Foundation. Probably somewhere in the vicinity of where I'm standing right at this very moment. I may be there playing bass. Go there. Don't make excuses. Just go. It's at 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah. Idle Wave record release party featuring Skyline, Roderick, and Pollyanna at AP Brewery at 7 p.m. Catch Me If You Can, Shrug Dealer, Gus Sees a Story at the very exact time of 7:21 p.m. Keep it holly, keep it jolly. I already did that. No, I didn't. We're Ghost Now, Karatova, Boogeyman, and Scout at the Gingerbread House at 7:30 p.m. Ask a punk for show details. Sip on some vomit. Oh boy. Cranston Dean, Alexandra Simone, and Who Dat in Delirium, and Little Uncle Kevin Daly at the Saint at 7:30 p.m. The Rex at the Asbury Lane at 8 p.m. New Miss, Foxfire's Garden, FM Lounge at 8:47 p.m. You're just trying to fuck with me now. Apollo Saunders, Fox and Crow at 10 p.m. Gay Guy, Straight Guy, Yomo, and Black Flamingos at APYC at 10 p.m. Successful Failures at Triumph Brewery at 10 p.m. I'm almost there. Sunday, December 2nd, Delicate Flowers, Joy Cleaner, Jaron Love at Pet Show in Jersey City. The Floozies at the Asbury Lanes. And Jesus Christ, close out your weekend at Scarlet Pub with Me-Man Toad, Bad Tiger, and Lord Baltimore. I'm gonna go take a goddamn nap. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, Natalie Farrell!
like it's deep in me, but it's been dark ever since we fell apart. See, I've been pacing through these rooms, wondering what has happened between us two. That's why I am who I am today. It's all because of you. I ain't letting go, my love, no, not since we fell apart. It's all over now, can't take it anymore. Ever since you walked out that door, my heart's been on the floor. That's why I'm leaving you tonight. It's been dark in this big black heart, yeah. See, I don't understand why you're there and I'm here. You should be next to me. Oh, baby, stop being such a tease. All I want is your love and affection. Why can't you see? I ain't letting go, my love, no, not since we fell apart. It's all over now, can't take it anymore. Ever since you walked out that door, my heart's been on the floor. That's why I'm leaving you tonight, yeah. It's been dark in this big black eye, yeah. I don't care where you're going tonight, but I take a deep breath and I exhale it all up. Your love is good. That's why I'm leaving you tonight. It's been dark in this big black eye, yeah. It's been dark in this big black eye. I ain't letting go, my love, no, not since you broke this heart. Oh, I said I'm not letting go, my love, not in this big black eye. Thank you. Thank you. We got a little improv-y song here. I haven't really named it yet, so I'm just going to call it Fern's Song. I hope y'all enjoy. I wake up this morning, looking out my window, all the trees are blooming. Yeah, they're saying hello, all the love it keeps on leading back to you. All the darkness fades away, and then you come and light my day. All I want from you is to love me. All I need from you is to need me. Never knew it could remind me of summer mornings. Nice breeze of fresh air. Something about you, it's so alluring. I can't help but stare. All the darkness fades away, and then you come and light my day. All I want from you is to love me. All I need from you is to need me. Never knew it could be, but now I see that the love keeps growing. You got me glowing, yeah. I wake up this morning, looking out my window. That's when I realize I'll give it a go with you and me. Oh, baby, yeah, you got me glowing, yeah, yeah, you got me glowing, yeah, you got me glowing, you got me glowing, you got me glowing. Thank you. All right, I got one more for you. This one's the latest single, and it is called Exhale. And I hope y'all enjoy. Thanks so much for having me, guys. I take my day by day. That's why I'm here to say I'm in. Oh, don't tell me you would want it any other way. Oh, I take a deep breath and I exhale. Yeah, that's how I am living life. Wouldn't give it up for another day. That's why I feel so right to stay. Oh, I take a deep breath and I exhale, and I'm feeling so alive. Yeah, wouldn't give it up for another day. That's why I feel so right to stay. Going anywhere tonight. I'm not going anywhere. That's why I'm here with you, baby. Yeah. Oh, take a deep breath and I exhale. Yeah, that's how I am living life. Wouldn't give it up for another day when it feels so right to stay. Take a deep breath and I exhale, and I'm feeling so alive. Yeah, feel the energy all over the place. Oh, baby, won't you come my way? Take a deep breath, take a deep breath, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. space, yeah. I'm not going anywhere. I take a deep breath and I exhale, and I'm feeling alive. Ooh, yeah. Take a deep breath. Thank you.
You are a formidable percussionist.
Oh, thanks.
Are those yours or did you rent those?
Oh, these are mine.
Come on up, Danny. Come on up.
I'm not good at it. Remembering lyrics.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's okay. Oh, wow. Hey, Fern's back. Natalie Farrell, Matt Fernicola, Danny Coleman, Lou Panico for Chris Dubrow. Wait, come on, hold on. Come on. I don't want to block anybody here. So, live from the Asbury Park Music Foundation, I have been, and I remain Brian Erickson, Danny Coleman.
Danny Coleman, yes.
This has been One More. Good night.
Good night.